Ibrahim Traore. That name means many things to many people across Africa today. For some, it's a name that echoes with revolutionary defiance. For others, it is the heartbeat of a new Burkina Faso. But to the women of Zongo village, it is something even more personal. It is the name of a man who made a promise, and more importantly, kept it. In a world where politicians often make grand declarations and forget them as quickly as the cameras disappear, Ibrahim Traore has shown that the true measure of a leader is not in speeches, but in quiet actions that transform lives. This is the story of a garden, not a garden of luxury, but a garden of hope, dignity, and survival. A garden given to the women of Zongo by their president, built not with fanfare, but with intention, love, and resolve. On March 6, 2025, during an unannounced visit for International Women's Day, President Ibrahim Traore arrived in the humble village of Zongo in the Plateau Central region. The women there had no idea he was coming. They didn't gather to be seen on television or to recite prepared chants. They came with their pain, their stories, their resilience, and their hopes. They spoke of the lack of water, the hardship of tending land with no irrigation, and their desire for something better for their children. And Ibrahim Traore listened, not with the polite nod of a politician, but with the attentive heart of someone who knew what it meant to go without. He walked the land with them. He saw the dry, cracked soil. He saw their calloused hands and tired eyes. And before leaving, he gave them his word. You will have water. You will have tools. You will have land you can cultivate. Not just words, a promise. Many in the village, hardened by decades of unfulfilled promises, didn't believe it would happen. They had seen leaders before. They had heard the same music, danced to the same song, only to be forgotten once the motorcade rolled away. But something about Ibrahim Traore was different. Maybe it was the way he held their hands, or the fact that he came without cameras and crowds. Maybe it was his humility, his refusal to wear the title of president like a crown, instead wearing it like a work uniform. Before we continue, welcome to Azizi Africa, where we bring the African vision to life and make African stories go global. Help us in pushing the message forward as we continue to inspire, educate, and empower. Subscribe now, like, and share our videos, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for our next videos. Now let's continue. Just weeks later, that promise became reality. On a bright Thursday, the Chief of Staff of the President of Faso, Captain Martha Celeste Anderson de Comwin-Meda, arrived at the village to fulfill the commitment made by Traore himself. She didn't come empty-handed. She came with dignity. She came with results. She came with water. Covering an expansive 3.76 hectares, the new market garden site was not just a token gesture. It was a full transformation of the land. Fenced for safety, equipped with 2 boreholes, a water tower, and 15 ponds, this was infrastructure built for sustainability, built to last. And it wasn't just the water. Alongside it came fertilizer, seeds, and modern agricultural tools. Everything the women needed to not just plant, but to thrive. The women, led by the governor of the Plateau Central region, welcomed the delegation with joy that could not be contained. Songs filled the air, ululations echoed through the village, and for once, the women of Zongo were not waiting in line for aid. They were receiving what was theirs, delivered with respect. This is what leadership looks like. Ms. Elise Ouedraogo, speaking for the women, put it plainly. We are truly happy with what the President of Faso has done for us. We have a head of state who loves his fellow citizens, who loves work, and who loves a people who are fighting for food self-sufficiency. Her words captured what so many feel but struggle to articulate, that the mark of a good leader is not in how many summits he attends or how many titles he carries, but in how deeply he understands the struggles of his people. This wasn't just about agriculture. It was about dignity. For years, these women had been caught in the cycle of poverty, dependent on seasonal rain, unable to grow enough to feed their families, let alone sell for income. But with water, with seeds, with tools. They could finally take control of their destiny. They were no longer passive recipients of aid. They were now the agents of their own future. This act of keeping a simple promise speaks volumes about Ibrahim Traore's leadership style. It shows that even as he negotiates with global powers, even as he fights to reclaim Burkina Faso's sovereignty from foreign control, he never loses sight of the people at the grassroots. He knows that revolutions are not only won on battlefields or at international forums. They are won in villages like Zongo, in the hearts of the people. And it's no wonder, then, that when threats came against him, when foreign powers criticized him, when assassination plots were rumored, the people didn't stay silent. They marched. From city centers to rural villages, from students to elders, the people of Burkina Faso took to the streets in his defense. Not out of fear, not because they were told to, but because they believed. They saw in Ibrahim Traore something rare, a man who delivers. The West may wonder why this young captain commands such loyalty. The answer is simple. He shows up. He listens. He acts. And he does it not for applause, but because he believes in a Burkina Faso, where no village is forgotten. These gestures, often called little things in political circles, are in fact the big things. They are the foundations of trust, the building blocks of national unity. They are the reasons why people say they would lay down their lives for this man, why elderly women call him our son, and why farmers refer to him as one of us. But the Zongo garden is also a symbol of a deeper philosophy that Ibrahim Traore champions: food self-sufficiency. He understands that no nation can be truly independent while its people go hungry. Water is not just a basic need. It is a weapon against poverty, a tool of liberation. And by giving women the means to grow, he is empowering the entire nation. Under his leadership, the idea of development is not abstract. It is tangible. You can touch it, you can eat from it, and you can drink the water it provides. In fact, the Zongo project is just one among many. Across Burkina Faso, similar initiatives are taking root. From school construction to youth vocational training, from local defense units protecting communities to massive infrastructure development, the Traore government is laying the foundation of a new Burkina Faso, one that does not beg, but builds. There are leaders who want to be seen. Then there are leaders who want to serve. Ibrahim Traore is of the second kind. He doesn't chase photo opportunities. He creates moments of meaning. His decision to send his chief of staff, a woman, to oversee the handover is also symbolic. It shows that this government believes in women, uplifts women, and gives them power not just in the fields, but in the halls of decision-making. Burkina Faso is a land that has known struggle, but it is also a land that has known greatness, from the legacy of Thomas Sankara to the promise of Ibrahim Traore. And if this story of a village garden tells us anything, it is that the future of Africa will not be dictated by foreign embassies or economic advisors. It will be shaped by leaders who know how to keep a promise, dig a well, and plant a seed of hope. So, as we reflect on this moment, let us ask ourselves, what kind of leadership do we need in Africa today? Is it the kind that issues grand plans from glass towers? Or is it the kind that walks into a dusty village, listens to forgotten voices, and returns with water and dignity? If you were inspired by this story, if you believe these are the kinds of stories Africa should be known for, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us what leadership means to you. And tell the world, loudly and proudly, that in Zongo, a promise was made, and a promise was kept. This is the Burkina Faso that Ibrahim Traore is building. One well, one seed, one village at a time. If you believe in an Africa that rises on its own terms, if you support this movement for self-reliance, dignity, and progress, then be part of the change. Like this video, share it far and wide, and let the world know that a new Africa is here. And of course, make sure to subscribe to Izizi Africa, where we bring the African vision to life and make African stories go global. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the transformation happening across our great continent.